The Great Crypto Scam. This is the title of the most recent video released by James Johnny. In this video, he talks about everything crypto, from Bitcoin to NFTs to Web3, and even games built with blockchain technology. I watched the entire video, thinking and hoping that I would hear him say, but it's not all bad.
The crypto machine has continued running. New packaging of ideas, more money funneled into the system.
But that never came. While this video will undoubtedly spread fear, uncertainty, and doubt to his 1.4 million subscribers, I do agree with the majority of what he says and the conclusions he makes. However, there are three claims that he makes that are just flat out wrong. The first claim is that anyone who buys Bitcoin is only doing it so they can sell it to somebody at a future date for a higher price. Secondly is that Web3, as the new internet, doesn't have clear-cut use cases. And third is that the only reason people play blockchain games was to make money. And the only way they could make money is because more people were buying into the game after them. Before I get into debunking these claims, I want to say that I'm a big fan of James Johnny's work, and he clearly puts a lot of effort into all of his videos. I highly recommend you watch the entirety of this video, and I'll leave a link in the description below.
Anyone who buys into the idea of Bitcoin is doing so to sell it for a higher price at a future date, and the people that buy it off those people are also looking to sell it for a higher price at a future date. The only way to make money from your Bitcoin investment is using the money of new investors. What some would argue isn't a decentralized currency, it's a decentralized Ponzi scheme.
Not everyone buys Bitcoin in order to sell for a profit later. And to be honest, if they were just looking to make money, you could argue there are many other cryptocurrencies with potential for much bigger gains. But there are a few cases you get with Bitcoin that you don't get with any other asset. Of course, you have your maxis who believe that fiat will fail and Bitcoin will become the world reserve currency. And for the record, those people aren't selling. Ever. But I think the most important use case is to fight government corruption. Take this for example. Let's say there's a country that starts a war with its neighbor, and the USA steps in and applies sanctions to that country, so that country can no longer import or export goods or make bank transfers across borders. Bitcoin allows that country to transact. And I know what you're thinking, rightfully so. But no, that's because you're making judgment based on incomplete knowledge. Let's take it a bit further. You're an innocent civilian in that country, and because of these sanctions, the value of your money drops by 70% overnight. Bitcoin would have avoided that. And let's go deeper. Let's say you're part of the LGBTQ community, and your government makes that illegal. So they freeze your bank account until you comply with their rules. Your Bitcoin can't be frozen or taken away, and might be enough to help you flee that country. All of these things can happen and can be solved by Bitcoin. But many overlook these ideas when they're living in a privileged life in a first world country.
I have to admit, it's a pretty convincing narrative. Web 3.0 is coming. The idea was that a new version of the internet is here, where your online activity was going to be making use of blockchains and tokens. If NFTs could prove ownership over something, then you could put anything on the blockchain. I mean, people suggested that you could replace legal contracts with smart contracts. This is a smart contract, and this is a legal contract. These two things aren't the same.
Smart contracts can take out the middleman. And I will admit that smart contracts and NFTs can't replace everything, but there are some really good use cases. Let's start with the claim that smart contracts are not legal contracts. Let's look at this example in two scenarios. One that's backed by a legal contract and one that's backed by a smart contract. You let a friend or an acquaintance borrow $10,000. You write up a legal contract that says if they don't pay you back in 3 months, they owe you an additional $2,000 or 20% on that loan. In the Web3 world, they would put up crypto as collateral within a smart contract. The 3 months go by and you don't get your money. The smart contract will automatically pay you the money that you are owed instantly. But without that smart contract, this person can claim that the legal document isn't legitimate and the signature was forged, or they were forced to sign it while intoxicated. Then after time and money is spent in court, you could have a judge that makes a poor judgment and sides with the other party. The fact that smart contracts can take out the middleman in most situations is a good thing.
13 years after 1983, which is considered to be the birth of the internet, we were already seeing very clear-cut use cases.
Hardware cold storage wallets are a secure and reliable way to protect your crypto. These are designed with the highest security standards to keep your crypto safe. You can rest assured that your crypto is protected from hackers and other malicious actors. These are easy to use with a simple setup process and an intuitive interface. Secure your crypto and help out the channel by purchasing your very own ledger or Trezor with the links in the description.
Even in those early days, people could get weather reports, they could check the news, they could send emails, and many other uses that we still use to this day.
To say that Web3 is 13 years in the making is kind of a stretch. It's 9 years old at best with the creation of Ethereum. But let's talk about some use cases. First, we have censorship. This is an ongoing issue over the past few years, but a decentralized internet can be programmed to allow free speech. I know there are many people out there that believe censoring misinformation is a good thing, but that's mostly true when that censorship aligns with your values. There are many people in this world that lack intelligence, but I believe everyone has the right to access all information and make up their own conclusions. Another use case is ownership of digital assets in video games. But first, let's hear what James has to say about it.
Earn this token called SLP, which could actually be traded for real money. So what started happening? Well, people started playing the game, but instead of focusing on the fun of the game, the focus became on
how to earn more SLP.
Certain players wouldn't be able to afford the buy-in price, and they were called scholars. Scholars would then play the game using their rented axes, earn SLP, and then give a cut of their earnings to their managers. What you ended up with was a game where players are playing in order to make money, but the only reason that they're making money is because others are buying in to also make money.
The problem with this part of the video is that he's lumping all Web3 games into one and comparing it to Axie Infinity. In reality, Axie Infinity was just one failed attempt at a Web3 game, and it's hard to even say that it really was a failure at this point. But that doesn't mean that the technology that was used is not a giant step forward in gaming. He tries to make it sound like the only reason earning money is possible is because it's a Ponzi scheme, and people need to put more money into the game behind you. But let's put this into perspective. Fortnite is one of the most popular games in the traditional gaming space. It generates almost $6 billion a year in revenue, and all of the profits go to Epic Games. This alone is proof that a game can generate money. Web3 games are just adjusting the model so that some, if not all of the revenue goes back to the players. And not only that, smart contracts give the players the ability of true ownership of those in-game assets and allow you to freely buy and sell on a free market. With games like Fortnite and League of Legends, it's against terms of service to sell your account or any digital assets within that account. Attempting to do so can get your account taken away from you completely.
You get a bunch of poor people in the Philippines who are poor when they start and they're just hoping to make some money, but then what happens is they actually lose money.
Told Times magazine that Axie Infinity reinforced predatory systems and gave them false hope.
This claim is also false. I participated in the Axie Summer of 2021, and I can tell you firsthand that a lot of these scholars did make a lot of money, more than they would have in their home country during a 6 to 8 month span. And they were able to help their family and friends in countries like the Philippines. Also, if you understand how scholarships work, most of the scholars were playing and earning risk-free. They would play with the manager's assets and split the earnings. At no point did they need to make any purchases. One could argue they may have wasted some of their time, but scholars extracted a lot from the system while having little to no risk in these projects. Most of the losses that came with Axie Infinity came from the asset holders, aka the managers.
And a constant search to find a use case that justifies the hype and the claims of revolutionary technology.
Ultimately, I think there's a lack of understanding of crypto and blockchain technology expressed in this video. But that doesn't mean it's all good. There are many bad actors in this space, and there have and will be many more growing pains. We really are early, and the use cases are showing if you know where to look and take the time to truly understand crypto and blockchain technology.